Hey folks, JD here, and today, look at this little guy. This is the Eachine H8S 3D. Now, I'm really excited about this little guy because I believe this quadcopter has complete inverted flight. It can fly one way and it can fly upside down as well. So, let's open her up, have a little look and see what she comes with. So, let's look at this now. So we've got standard manual, little accessory bag. So inside the accessory bag, we have the following. USB charger. That's pretty standard, to be honest with you. There we are, USB charger. We also have a Phillips screwdriver. We also have a set of 4 propellers as spares and these little rubber bungs. Now I do believe these little rubber bungs are going to be used on the underside of this copter. I just dropped a couple here. Let me just pick these back up. Okay, so that is pretty much the whole accessory bag. So if I was to, oh, this one's been a bit stubborn. Aye, there we go. So there we have it. So we've got, there's the spare propellers. Are they marked? No, they are not marked with... Oh yes, they are very, very faintly. Sorry folks, I don't know if you can see, but right in there is the letter B. So likewise, you should have 2 letter B's. Yeah, there's the other one. And then likewise, these 2 should have the letter A, which they do indeed, A and A. There's also, on the other side, there's a number 1 and a 2 as well. So these should line up with what's on the propeller arms. So, this is the accessory pack. Pretty cool. We're doing it slightly differently this week, just because as we opened it, the accessory bag was on the top. So there we have it. That's the accessory bag. Let's move all this out of the way for the second, and let's have a look at the important part, the quadcopter. Look at this. Now, for a nano, this guy's pretty large. I mean, he's covering my hand. He's quite a nice colour, being quite violent lime green. He's very well made. One thing I did notice is when I've taken this out, attention to detail is really quite high. So you can see the little silver bits here. They serve no purpose, it's just complete decoration, but it looks nice. Also, the little black strips here on the front of the quadcopter, once again, serve no purpose, just looks nice. And these aren't transfers, these are properly painted. So a little bit of time has gone into the construction and manufacturing process with this copter, which I got to be honest is really cool. A lot of nanocopters are so small and not a lot of attention to detail goes into them. I do feel some of them could actually have been made a little bit better. This guy, I got to be honest, his attention to detail, yeah, build quality is very good. I mean, there's a couple of nice, what I think are nice little bits. Now, normally with a nanocopter, you don't get propeller guards. That's one thing that stood out straight away. Secondly, they're quite durable. So if you were to land on the floor, they have quite a strong impact to them. They won't necessarily snap, they will just bend. One downside of that is that you want to be careful that when you pick the copter back up, that the propeller has got enough room to pass and it isn't hitting them. So that's one thing I would be wary of. But to be honest with you, they are pretty durable and they are just springing back every single time. Doesn't matter which way I move it, it's springing back into position. That's the one thing. The second thing is that the propellers as well. I don't know if it's just because it's green and the black stands out a lot on the green, but they look as if they have been cut slightly differently. They seem to be at a bit more of an angle, which hopefully would mean that when it's inverted and it flies upside down, that hopefully this is going to help. So yeah, I mean, it looks a lot more like a large quadcopter that's been shrunk. Yeah, great attention to detail, great build quality. A couple of screws on the underside just to note. One here and here just to open up the motor casing. and you have a pair of screws on each of the propeller arms as well. So this is something that you can take off these casings on all the propeller arms, which may be handy. Now let's have a little look. Let's just plug her in. Have we got any power? Yes, we have. We've got slight power. So if we were to point it in the direction it flies, so the red LEDs denote the front and the blue denote the back. So that's quite bright. I'm quite happy with that. And as you can see, the LEDs are actually attached inside the body. So there's no little plastic casing over them. They're sunken into the propeller arms, which means that they're going to be protected, which is, again, another great feature. Because normally, and what I've found as well, is one too many crash lands, or not very stable landings, rather. What you may find is the plastic that covers a lot of the LEDs on a lot of quadcopters may crack, may start to move, whereas these, I don't see them actually doing that, because obviously they are built inside the propellers, in the propeller arms. So the battery is completely attached. That's not something that I can take out. I think it's just because it's quite a tight fit, and that they pretty much don't expect anybody to be taking that out, because the charger has got quite a long cable, and thus you can plug it into your computer and you get quite a good length of cable with it as well. So you don't need to. This is more to the point where you take the cable to the battery, not the other way around. So there we go. This is just a little look at the Eachine. So I'm going to knock it over for a second, and let's fit these little rubber bungs. Now these little rubber bungs go, there's a little white bit here which you have to take off, and that then would just allow the quadcopter to have these little bits affixed. Now that's going to help and give you quite a bit of ground clearance when you come to land. So I believe I dropped one, which would be under here. Yeah, there we go. I thought I did. So let's have a little look. Let's turn this over. Let's move all this out of the way for a second. I don't want all that crowd in the place. And now let's take off these little bits of protective plastic over the sticker. And there's a little bit in the middle as well. That's a little bit fiddly. Perhaps I should have taken the middle bit out first before I did the outer ring. Okay, there we go. So there's the first one. And then, boom, you can fix them on like that. There we are. There's one. Really simple. But as you can see, it gives you quite a nice bit of ground clearance as well. So it's not, you're not going to be scraping the body of the battery on the floor. So once again, we've got another 3 of these to do. And there we have it. So now we have 4 rubber bungs fitted underneath. They're all fitted pretty well. And now you get a nice little bit of ground clearance and a nice little bit of movement underneath there as well. Perfect. Yeah, I really like that little guy. He's pretty cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the second is just clear up this place here a bit. Let's put you there. There we are. And now let's have a little look at this, this transmitter. Okay, so pretty standard on first impressions. There's a load of buttons here. Okay, let's have a quick little look and see what all these buttons do. So if we go from, let's have a little turn around to me so I can get my bearings. Right, okay, so we've got trim forward, trim backward, trim left and right. Then working from the top up here, we've got headless mode. Then we've got 1 key return, and these 2 are speed conversions, so higher or lower. So that's pretty much what all the buttons do. You've got your standard analog stick, standard configuration, in so much that the left stick is your throttle and your turn. And then likewise then on your right, you've just got bank left and right as well. Okay, power button on the bottom, quite simple, quite well known. There are 2 little shoulder buttons here as well. So this one is inverted flight mode. So I'm hoping that this one will mean that once you push this button, that you can then flip the quadcopter and then you can fly. and then the other side then is your stunt, your flipping button. So once again, 2 little buttons at the top, 2 shoulder buttons, quite nice action on them, quite a nice controller in the hand. It's got 2 little grips here as well, so it's got a different kind of moulded plastic on the corners here and on the corners here, which do actually, when they sit in your palm, they do actually sit pretty well, I got to be honest. So yeah, that's quite nice. 2 little flicks at the back as well, almost game controller-esque, just here and here. So once again, when you're holding it, your fingers do actually just balance on the top quite nicely, and your hand underneath. I mean, all in all, that's a really quite a nice feeling controller. You've got a red LED in the middle there. Obviously, red LED tells you when the power is on, and then also when the power is off. So, no charging ability on this controller, just 3 AAA batteries, AA batteries are needed. So once again, you can buy just normal batteries and charge them, or you can buy just shop bought batteries and they will work as well. So that's the little transmitter with your little Eachine H8S 3D with inverted flight. Alright then folks, so come with us in the next couple of days when we're going to be taking this little guy out. We're going to be testing a load of the features, including the inverted feature. Hopefully that'll answer a couple of questions, such as, do you have to stop the quadcopter and turn her over and then push the button to allow it to take off? Or is she able to flip over mid-flight and carry on upside down? All these questions and more, my friends, are going to be answered in the next couple of days. So come with us. We're going to thoroughly test this one, and then we're going to have a little look and see how it stacks up against all the other quadcopters that we've been through the past couple of months. So then, my friends, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. Don't forget to subscribe just to be kept up to date with all the videos that are going up. Don't forget, we've got a new video schedule as well. You can check it out on the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.